I want to talk to you tonight about a lot of engineering that's been lost. I want to talk to you about the railways, I want to talk to you about the coal industry and how potentially we might have lost an opportunity in this area. I've come out of Swinton towards Manvers, and we're pretty much along the line of what was the Dearne and Dove Canal. The last time a canal barge travelled along here was in 1953, when it was carrying coal from Manvers back towards Swinton. In this woodland here were actually clay workings which loaded directly onto the barges. So we've got quite a lot of engineering been going on in there. It's pretty inaccessible now, covered by woodland. Principally though, I want to talk about is this lost railway tunnel here, which you can now see is absolutely full of water, and I'm at a location which was always called Ragby, after the name of a row of houses just over the road there, just off Wath Road, the road between Mexborough and Manvers, Wath, and it was a row of houses there called Ragby Row. Now, we had an interesting situation here where we had three railway lines came together. So first of all, we had the line with the Great Central Line, which was from Mexborough to Wath, basically. Wath Marshalling Yards in this direction over towards the right side was Wath Marshalling Yards, created in 1907. A huge concentration yard, mainly to gather coal from the South Yorkshire coalfields, and then often that would go over into Lancashire. The electrification came in the early 1950s, but it never reached beyond Wath, so this line was never electrified. So the dive under here was the Great Central Railway between Mexborough and Wath. Crossing over was the Midland Line, originally the North Midland Line, which ran from Swinton Town Station right the way through Wath North on towards Cudworth and on towards Leeds. But also there was a branch off where the line now remains, and that was called the Swinton and Nottingley Railway, and that is the route now that we follow to Bolton-on-Dearne. We've not finished yet though, because underneath from the Great Central Line there was another link line through yet another tunnel, a brick tunnel, which is still under the roadway there. Again, that's also completely flooded and inaccessible. But that road carried a two-line railway line up towards what was then called Dearne Junction. Just this side, just the Swinton side of Bolton-on-Dearne. So that was like a link from this railway up to the Midland line there. Now I'm going to show you some photographs which orientates the railway, but then I'm going to show you some photographs of how the geography changed, how a deep man-made cutting was lost and lost forever, really. So we can just move across a little way to our right here. Now you may just be able to make out the refuges there in the concrete recess there. That was a refuge for the track workers to get out of the way of any moving traffic when there was limited clearance along the lines. If we can now start looking at some of the photographs we brought along this evening. Here we have a photograph taken from a train window, and you can see this is on the Midland Line. This train would then be going off towards the right, towards Bolton-on-Dearne. The signal there indicates it's going to that side. Had the middle signal been up, it would have been going straight on towards through Manvers. Here is the Manvers complex here, and at the same time we have another locomotive coming along, heading towards Mexborough, away from Wath, which was go underneath the bridge that we can now see. This has been re-engineered. The metalwork has gone and it's now being replaced by concrete. But this is pretty much the effect that you had of lines crossing each other. Over here is the remains of the Dearne and Dove Canal. You can see it's already disappeared. It's already been filled in. But Manvers there, Manvers Colliery, there's the tower, and the pit canteen was there. It is working away quite well. Now our second photograph, this is taken from the Mexborough side, beyond beyond and through the bridge that we're looking at. Remember, this bridge has been re-engineered, the concrete came later. And here's a train of empty coal wagons. This will be coming out of Wath, probably it's been over the Pennines, drawn by electrics, and this is drawing away towards Mexborough behind this Class 37 loco. Again, this is the banking on Wath Road. Can you see the depth of the cutting? And this is what I want to return to. Now the railway line, the hidden tunnel, is here, and this was the line that went up and away and joined at Dearne Junction beyond off this photograph. So there is the hidden tunnel, still there, but absolutely flooded with water at the moment. So the depth of the cutting is to note. Again, Manvers Colliery working away to covering the landscape. Just before the bridge, this is Wath Road Junction, the signal box that was on the Midland line, and this is another train, again of empty wagons, being drawn this time by a steam locomotive, pretty much actually on the site where we're looking at now. If we were to look in that direction, this is about where we're standing now, and again you can see the landscape there. This is in much later years. The line was reduced to 2 lines, and you can see the concrete there, and away it goes from 4 lines down to 2 lines. But again, I just want to emphasize the depth of this engineering, the depth of this cutting which we are looking at here. And our final railway photo is a light engine. Again, we've got the top line here. There's a freight train passing over. This is Ragby Row, which I mentioned before, the row of houses just off Wath Road. Up towards here is the pub called the Roman. These properties are still there, and there's a train heading towards Swinton on the top line, and one light engine has just passed underneath on the Great Central line, the former Great Central line. So I want now to sort of look at an aerial photograph here. If we can. So taken from the air. To orientate you, this is Whiteley Road, and there was the former bridge on Whiteley Road. This line here is the Swinton Curve. This was reinstated back just before 1990 when Swinton Station opened. But again, can you see on the landscape this deep man-made gorge, this deep valley which formed the cutting? This is the properties away over here on the Mexborough side. But when this line was closed, we begin to lose the route. You can see there's industrial activity being created. Land was being sold off. Land was going to other uses, and the route was lost. So the cutting there sort of stood out on its own, and decisions were made actually to begin to completely landfill the route. And our next photograph here is taken from the bridge at Whiteley Road, and this is looking back to the direction of where we stood now. Now this slender bridge here, a very, very high bridge, carried Queen Street over the Great Central Railway. That bridge was actually called Woodfield Bridge on the old maps. It's called Woodfield Bridge. All that remains now of this bridge is the roadway is now filled in, and you just have the bridge abutments on either side of Woodfield Bridge, so it's no longer is a bridge. So you can see the landscape, the landfilling is beginning here. They're working away on the landfill, building up that cutting higher and higher and higher to completely obliterate what was the line of the railway. And a further picture takes us beyond. Again, you can see the depth, what was lost here, and again all the land filling going on. Across here you have the Dearne Valley College. Manvers Colliery is now completely gone, and also so is this cutting. So if we were to look just beyond the Midland line beyond, we can see it. All we now see is a mound of landscaped area. The cutting is completely disappeared, and it was said at the time, is this the right thing to do? Could that be a light rail link into Manvers? Again, I pose that question. I suppose on the advantageous side, it did remove the necessity of maintaining very high bridges for carrying, for no traffic underneath. But it is a question. It was certainly considered at the time, but however, decisions were made, land was sold off, the route was lost, and now all that we have remaining is a flooded, lost tunnel to remind us of what was once a very busy rail route. Thank you.